Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. You have reached another rewatch starting from the beginning, folks. I've been asked to start from the beginning, so we're going to start from the humble beginnings of 16 and pregnant. And the very first episode was actually Maci. So this entire episode is me recapping the entire situation. I was going to say wonderful. Sarcastically, we all know that it was never a wonderful situation with Maci and Ryan. So we're here with Maci. She's 16. She lives in Chattanooga, Tennessee. She's an overachiever. She gets good grades. She plays sports and she does all that stuff. Okay. So she says her boyfriend Ryan started chasing her when she was a sophomore. She didn't want him because he was a dirty four-wheel driver, even though she's into dirt bikes. Okay, he was a four-wheel biker, and she was like, I don't know about all of that. And eventually, she says that he wore her down, and she gave in. And wasn't that a huge mistake? I'm saying ill because I have to watch them kissing, and I know this makes Maci cringe, so I know that Maci cannot watch this episode without cringing, okay? So anyway, Maci goes on to say that he wore her down and she gave in, and eventually Ryan even put a ring on her finger. Maci says that all of her friends are psyched because they're graduating, but she's graduating early and moving in with Ryan because, of course, she's pregnant. So at this stage, Ryan and Maci already have their own place. So she's here with her little I don't know if they're softball friends, but they got little backpacks and stuff. She says her friends they basically can't believe that they have their own place. So I'm really surprised by that as well. But then again, Tennessee, the prices are a little low, especially 12 years ago? How old's Bentley now? I feel like he's 13, but I know Bentley's not that old yet. So Maci says that they're having a boy and they're going to name him Bentley. Y'all already knew that, but I felt like I had to say it anyway since I'm recapping this, and we're going to act like, okay, I know you guys have been with me for a long time and I've talked about this show. I'm sorry, but it brings me such joy to do these reviews because I miss reviewing this show with you guys. I miss reviewing Teen Mom with you folks, and I don't get to do that with this pandemic and stuff. So I'm freaking excited that y'all wanted me to do this darn show from the beginning. So Maci's here with her friends, and they're asking her, how did you tell your mom you were pregnant? And Maci has nerve to say she told her mom through a text message. She basically sent her mom the message saying, oh, I got something to tell you. And she's like, what? And she says, I'm pregnant. She says, if this is a joke, you better stop playing. And if you're not joking, we need to discuss this not on a text message. So Maci says when she got home, her parents were sitting at the table. She was not initially crying, but once her mom got up from the table and went to hug her, then of course they both started crying. So Maci and Ryan are riding in the car, and Maci's talking to Ryan about how his dad is and her dad is, and y'all really was gonna make a home, huh? And apparently Ryan was doing that snuff or whatever the heck that he always has in his mouth. He's been doing that since he was a teenager, okay? Because he's got this big old wad of stuff. I know I saw this episode so many years ago and I didn't even notice that. So we're here with the Edwards family, and Ryan and Maci's there. I see Maci's dad, who was hardly ever he's not on any episodes as far as I know of Teen Mom 2. No, sorry. He's not on any episodes of Teen Mom OG that I can think of. And so, yeah, they're just having this get together. Everything's going well. So Maci says she has a lot to handle at 16. Ryan is a diesel mechanic at night. And Maci says that she helps by working part-time with her dad in this office I'm looking at. All right, so Maci and Ryan are in the car again, and Maci's asking Ryan, are you going to come to the baby shower? And Ryan says to her, you do not need any more stuff. And you can never have enough baby stuff, Ryan. What the heck are you talking about? Maci says it seems like whenever she brings something up pregnancy related, Ryan doesn't want to talk about it. Well, girl, that is a sign looming in front of your eyes before you even know it. So Maci asks Ryan, because they're talking about the baby at first, and then they're sitting here eating, first of all. They're always eating on these shows. And Maci asks Ryan about his job and are you going to continue working at night? And she's asking a valid question. And Ryan says, Maci, you're acting stupid as hell. I don't know where that came from. Anyway, Maci goes on to ask Ryan if he's going to change his schedule to the day shift when the baby comes. Ryan says he doesn't know, they're not just going to change his schedule. So then Ryan is being a little rude to Maci, and she says to him, why are you being so mean? And typical Ryan. He just scoffs is what the closed caption says, and doesn't really say much. So Maci ends off the scene saying Ryan's attitude sucks, which we already know. So now we're back here with Maci, and after the commercial break. And Maci says that Ryan seemed so enthusiastic when he first asked her to marry him, and now he's lost a lot of that enthusiasm. In fact, he doesn't have any enthusiasm since then. So we're here in some Japanese restaurant. It's Ryan, Maci, and their friends or whatever, and they're not really talking about anything worth recapping, if you want me to be honest. So all they were talking about at the dinner was Ryan and how he doesn't know how to change a baby's diaper, and asking Ryan if he's ever held a baby, and Ryan has never held a baby. And so I guess they want him to take classes or something. Where do you go? Where does a guy go to take classes? Take those types of classes? I really don't know. Maci says after this little get together, she said it was great, but she has to go to bed because she has school the next day. And she says since her graduation and delivery was on the I don't know what the heck she was saying. It was on a collision course with each other. She had to transfer to an accelerated school for some reason. So Maci says that she really doesn't care at this point what people think about her, but she knows that her belly is distracting for other people. So now she's in the classroom with these kids, these young people. I won't say kids, but these young people, and they ask her all these baby questions, like where'd she get her baby's name? And she says Bentley's name is Bentley Cadence. Girl, Cadence is a girl's name, but I'm really sorry. I had no idea his middle name was Cadence, but okay. And one of the classmates says, where'd you get the name Bentley? And she said Ryan found it in a baby book, and I guess they agreed on it. Dan, this is annoying. I'm beginning to think this feels like one of those I don't know how to say it, because you guys, I don't know if a lot of you remember the 90s, but remember the 90s, they used to have these teen summit. That's what this feels like. A teen summit, Macy's in the middle, and they're asking her all these pregnancy questions from all over the room. It's just like, what is this, Macy summit? Golly. All right, so now we're here on another day, I guess. And she says today's her baby shower, and she's picking up I almost said her old friends. They're probably her current friends at that point. She's picking up her old friends from her old school. Maci got all this cool stuff at the baby shower, and she said one of the best gifts that she got was like a two-wheeler that Bentley's not even going to be able to ride. He's not even going to be able to ride that two-wheeler until he's like 7 or 8. And so Maci says that she is grateful for her cool parents, and she'll never be a hard-ass parent on Bentley. That is hilarious, okay? That is really hilarious. But anyway, okay, we always say what we're going to do when we have kids, but when we actually have them, that's a completely different story. The next scene, Maci says her due date is coming up fast, and Ryan's taking her to her next appointment. So Maci's in the car, and Ryan has the nerve to make this pregnant lady get out of the car and go check and see if he has a flat tire, when he could have took his lazy behind. So funny. He could have took his lazy rump out there and checked himself. You're gonna make your pregnant girlfriend get up and go out there and look? That is just wrong. Maci says, I know Ryan is dreading this baby, but would it kill him to be supportive? Yeah, it would, because he's not that supportive type. So we're here with Maci getting her doctor's appointment, and the doctor is basically explaining to, I almost call Ryan Bentley. I told you I do that all the time. She's explaining to Ryan how big the cervix has to get for the baby to be born. And once the doctor showed Ryan how much she is compared to how much she has to be, he says, so that means we don't have much time left. The doctor says, well, you still have time, but y'all know how babies are. So Maci says there's no going back now. Bentley is on his way whether they like it or not. Okay, so Maci says that she's basically getting used to Ryan's parents, and she's there. They're having like family time and all this food. Maci's talking to them, and she says that Ryan was her first boyfriend. Isn't that crazy? So you mean to tell me Taylor is only your second boyfriend? Wait a minute. I don't want to call him Big Head. What was the name of Kyle? And I don't know how many boyfriends she had after Ryan, but okay, Taylor definitely isn't the second. It's crazy that Ryan was her first boyfriend. Maci's here with the Edwards, okay? Mimi Jen, is that what we call her? Guys, reviewing these episodes is bringing me such joy. It's reminding me of why I started my channel in the first darn place, okay? And I have to remember to sing a little ditty for y'all, because I am known for singing in my reviews, and lately I've just been slacking. I've been playing myself, okay? But I don't want to be cheating on y'all no more. With the songs, that is, with the songs. So I'm going to be singing for y'all in some of these videos because I've been playing myself. But anyway, so they're sitting down and they're having a little old jolly time. And, Ryan's dad, Larry, asks Maci, did your mom ever talk to you about, the birds and the bees? And Maci says this is awkward. It's really funny because Maci's face is beet red and it's hilarious. And she says, well, my mom didn't have enough time between teaching about the hokey pokey, but they called it the hokey pokey. But she didn't have enough time between teaching the hokey pokey and the time that Bentley was being created. So Maci and Ryan and I guess a friend on each bike. No, it looks like a set of two friends on one bike. There's two different bikes. You out here 9 months pregnant, darn near 9 months pregnant, riding on the back of a four-wheeler, girl. Anyway, so they stop because Maci can't take the bumping of the four-wheeler anymore. Then Ryan's going pretty slow, and Maci says it's time to go to the hospital. I think it's time. So I guess that four-wheeler brought Bentley to the forefront, huh? Okay, so Maci was not trying to have y'all all up in her crotch with the crotch shots and all the video inside of the delivery room. She gave you cartoon realness. She gave y'all cartoon realness. They just took and drew all her scenes. So anyway, Maci says that giving birth was the hardest thing she ever had to do in her life. And girl, I did it 3 times and I gotta agree with you. She says she kicked, she screamed, and I can see why you didn't want no cameras in that delivery room. Let me tell you, I wouldn't have wanted no cameras in mine, and thank God there weren't. So Maci says she was in labor for over 30 hours of nonstop pain. Girl, I gotta give it to you. I'm surprised you had 4 more after that. How many kids you got now? 4? 3? I don't know. Let's see, Jade, Maverick. Felt like there was a 4th one, but I think no, she only has 2 more after Bentley. Just cannot believe they have Bentley holding Bentley up, and I'm just looking at him like I cannot believe that we give birth to these beautiful newborn babies, and the next thing you know, we turn around and our 13-year-olds are taller than us and have these deep voices. I don't understand it. Okay, I don't understand it, but I just think it's amazing. So everything was going well in the delivery room. She says things haven't been this good since before she got pregnant, and she says she just hopes it lasts. So the next scene, Maci says that Ryan was so excited to be a father that he ran out and got Bentley's name tattooed on him. But before he gets this tattoo, we're going to rewind because Maci is the one who made us rewind because she forgot to tell us all the stuff that happened as they were leaving the hospital. So we do literally a rewind. So they head out of the hospital and now they're riding in the car with the baby. And Maci says, I always thought that we would know exactly what to do when it came to the baby, but now she's not so sure. So they're home and they're being peaceful and nice to each other. And this is probably the last time we're going to see niceness between these two now that the baby's here. So actually, Ryan is actually changing Pampers, which I'm really very surprised about. And so Maci says, so far so good as far as Ryan not thinking that the baby was going to come out and change his own Pampers. So Maci says in the next scene that they're doing the best they can when it comes to Bentley. Ryan has switched his schedule to days, so now he leaves early in the morning, and she says for the rest of the day, Bentley is all hers. So now we jump to 6 weeks later, and Maci says that she's going stir crazy and that she's missing her life that she used to have, hanging out with her friends and being a regular teenager, Now we're here at Maci's graduation. Okay, girl, she graduated school, and I forgot her middle name was Deshawn. So now they're here, I guess, after they went to dinner afterward, and Maci says she's thrilled to see her friends, but, her and Ryan's life has changed now that they have the baby. The friends wanted Bentley, Bentley, and all of them to go with them some other place. I forgot where. And Maci was like, nah, we can't go. It's Bentley's bedtime. So Maci's coming home and she lets us know that she's basically taking care of 2 babies at home with Bentley and Ryan. So Maci, why would you show Ryan your $1,300 you got for graduating? I mean, that ain't something. I mean, y'all live in the same house, so that money, I guess, is both y'all's anyway. But she literally sat there on the couch and counted the money in front of Ryan. So the next scene, Maci says that she enrolled in college in Chattanooga State University because she graduated early. So Maci's here with her friend, and she goes to the office to learn about the daycare, and they are charging $650. I guess that's a week or a month. A month? Golly. Just for daycare, which honestly, that's cheap because I paid a whole lot more than $650 a month. But she says that's more than the rent that they pay. So Maci says, as if college wasn't enough, she's making time to join a dance team with her and her friends. So she's here, she's learning dance moves in this gym or whatever it is she's doing. And Maci says to help pay for it all, she's still working part-time at her dad's shop. So Maci says that she has to rely on a lot of free daycare from her mom. And now she is in the apartment, her and Ryan's apartment. Ryan goes upstairs. Maci asks where's he going, and he just ignores her and goes up the steps. So Maci says that her and Ryan are not talking much at all, and he hasn't mentioned any wedding plans in over a month. But Ryan still manages to get quality time in with his friends. So Maci says she doesn't want to be the nagging wife and cramp Ryan's style, but taking care of Bentley all by herself is starting to get to her. So Maci's here with her friends and basically tells her friends that Ryan barely sees Bentley. Okay, so the baby's being fussy, and Ryan sees that Maci's trying to study, and he's just telling Maci that it's her turn to change him or to deal with the baby. And he really isn't doing anything. He's just sitting there, and he can't do a darn thing. He's going to literally make Maci get up and change this baby's diaper while he just sits there and does nothing. What an idiot. So Ryan sees that the baby's smelly, okay, gets up, leaves the baby flailing on the doggone couch, and makes Maci get up and change the pamper. So all Maci wants to do is just finish her homework so she can go to bed, and Ryan isn't doing anything, and he barely wants to hold the baby. It's ridiculous. So Ryan has the baby on the bed just laying there. He turns the light out, tells the baby goodnight, and just leaves the baby there next to him on the bed in the dark. So Maci's been dealing with the baby all day long. This boy man, or whatever he is at this point, Ryan is here, doesn't want to hold the baby, doesn't want to comfort the baby at all. So Ryan is cursing at Maci because she left the baby in there screaming with him after she changed him, or she picked him up. She said if you would pick him up once in a while, he would stop crying. She walked out the room, but she walked out because she was going to go make the baby a bottle. So Bentley's in there screaming his head off. And these babies scream a lot on these 16s and pregnant, okay? So Ryan is sitting there. He is basically berating Maci, saying, quit moving your mouth and go get the bottle or something like that. And then Maci says, I will leave Bentley right here if you say one more thing. And Ryan says, I'll leave, period. And then Maci says, then leave. So Maci ends up taking Bentley into the room with her. So they're on their way to Ryan's parents' house. They have not been getting along, but they have to put on a happy, smiley face at his parents' house. So Larry's sitting here with Maci, and he says to Maci, have you guys been talking about the wedding date? Maci says she can't even think about, she didn't say it to him, but she narrates to us that she can't even think about marrying Ryan if Ryan doesn't even want to spend time with her or Bentley. We get into this conversation of Ryan going out with his friends, and Larry asks Maci how does she feel when he does that, and she says, well, if he wants to go hang out with his friends, as opposed to hanging out with her and Bentley, hey, there's nothing really she could do about it. So then Larry tells Ryan he needs to spend more time with Bentley, and that before you know it, Bentley's going to be a year old, and you don't want to miss, the moments with your son. All right, so we're on another scene, and Ryan is on the phone. Sound like with a girl, but I don't know. So Ryan's on the phone talking about bowling with one of his friends, and Maci says that her and Ryan aren't even trying to make it work anymore. So Maci says that it seems like she can't do anything right when it comes to Ryan, and she says things at the apartment have gone downhill. Maci says that she's leaving Bentley with her mom, and she's going to get some advice from her friends. So I thought they were going to be talking about the apartment, since she mentioned the apartment before she was meeting with her friends. But she's basically contemplating leaving this dance thing because it's money and stressful, and she doesn't want to she can't enjoy it because she's going to be stressed out about everything. So basically, to make it really short, Maci's saying to her friends, as she's sitting here with her friends eating, she's saying that she basically makes time for Bentley, even with all the activities in school. When Ryan comes in from work, it's late, it's 10 o'clock, he's ready to go to bed. She's like, wait a minute, you have a son. You can't just, act like you're a single person and just go hang out, go to the gym, go to work, and just go to bed when you come home. So Maci comes into her and Ryan's apartment with the baby, and Ryan says, I thought you had dance crew or whatever today. And Maci says, I quit the dance team. Ryan says, oh, that sucks. So Ryan asks, why did you quit? And Maci says, because I have other priorities that are more important than dance. So then Ryan says to Maci, now you don't have anything to do. Ryan, are you dumb? I don't even have to answer that question. Nobody listening to this right now has to ask that question because y'all already know. Then Maci says to us, narrating, are you kidding me? Like, did he even think before he said that? No, he didn't, because again, he's dumb. So Maci's very frustrated that Ryan gets to plan outings with his friends still, not really stay home and take care of Bentley while she has to stay home with him. And she's on the phone with her mom in the next scene saying like she feels like she needs to talk to him about it. So then Maci says after that, she says she feels like she wants to just make him happy, so basically let him do whatever he wants to keep him happy. And her mom says, you know what, after a while you're going to become resentful, which is the truth. She's going to become resentful if he doesn't start pulling his own weight. So Maci asks her mom, do you think it would be a good idea for me to come home for a little while? And her mom says, I don't know. I don't know if that would really solve it. So at the end of this scene, Maci takes off her engagement ring and puts it on the table. So Maci says in the next scene that her and Ryan are barely talking since after the fight, which I don't recall which fight that was. I know I'm going scene by scene. Anyway, she says he picked up the engagement ring on the coffee table and he hasn't mentioned it since. So now we're here with Ryan at the gym with his dad. So Larry asks Ryan, are y'all doing okay? And Ryan says no. And Larry says, really? And Larry asks, are you staying there? Larry asks, are you staying there right now because of Bentley? And Ryan says, yeah. So then Larry says, well, do you care about her? I know you care about her because if you didn't care about her, you wouldn't be upset. And then Ryan says, yeah, but I don't know. So Larry says, well, Ryan Edwards, you better get on it, get it together, basically. Maci says that she doesn't want to break up with Ryan, but she really wants to know that he really wants to be there. So Maci's in here talking to Ryan, and Ryan says that, it's wearing me out arguing every day, coming here, and knowing that it's going to be just as bad here as it is when I'm at work. Ryan says that he knows it's not going to be easy, but he should at least still want to come home. Ryan says that sometimes I can't even ask you a question without you getting mad. Maci's wiping away tears, and she says, I feel like I resent you because I've taken on a lot more responsibility than you have. Maci says to Ryan, you hate this life. That's how I feel. Then Ryan has the nerve to ask Maci, what responsibility do you have that I don't? Take care of the baby all day long while you're at work, fool, and while you're at your friend's house, and while you're at the freaking eatery and bowling and all that, Ryan. So Maci says, how many times do I have to beg you to take the baby or to change his pamper? Maci says that she enjoys this responsibility, and to Ryan, it's a hassle. That's what she says to him. To you, it's a hassle. Ryan says to Maci, the only thing that makes it look like a hassle is you, which doesn't make any darn sense, but look at who it's coming from. I mean, seriously. Ryan comes right out and says, I don't enjoy being here with you. That's what it is. Maci says, I know that. Ryan says when he's with Bentley by himself, he's fine. Maci asks Ryan, were you ever happy? And Ryan says he was happy before, probably before she had the baby, okay? Maci says when? And Ryan says, I don't remember. It was a while ago. Maci says that it didn't change until she got pregnant. Maci says, I don't think if we were in this situation that we would be this unhappy right now. Ryan says to Maci, if we didn't have a kid, we wouldn't be together. Maci says, well, I don't want you to stay here if you feel like you have to. Ryan says, I'm trying. Obviously, Ryan, you're not trying hard enough. And Ryan says, I've only been trying because of Bentley. And Maci says, well, if you're only trying because of Bentley, it's time to give it up. Maci says that it's not going to be good for Bentley to see his parents growing up hating each other. Maci says, so now what? And Ryan says, I have no idea. So Maci says that having a baby at 16 really made her and Ryan's relationship very difficult. Says having a baby at 16 made a lot of things difficult, and she says that her and Ryan want to do the best they can for Bentley. She says they have to try to make it work, at least until they realize, either they're going to make it work or they just don't belong together. So Maci ends the show in narration by saying that they don't know what's ahead of them. They want the best, and she doesn't know whether they're going to be together or not. But that remains to be seen, pretty much. Now, that is the end of this review. Your next review is going to be season 1, episode number 2. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching my channel. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.